What's up, everybody? We're here on this rainy day in the garage, and what we're going to be doing today is an adjustment I found for this bypass valve. So basically what this does is there's a bypass valve inside the supercharger here, and it lets excess boost pressure by. And this is open and that should be closed. Well, some people, not all, most cars are fairly adjusted well, but some people have found that this valve is cracked open a little bit, allowing boost pressure to seep by. So what that'll do is it'll have almost like a lag effect, and you're not going to be reaching full boost potential in the amount of time that you would if it was adjusted properly. Now, some people have had, no difference in adjusting this, and some people have adjusted it and picked up 1 or 2 PSI of boost. So it's free and it's worth doing. It's not hard to do because it's right here on top of the engine. So we're going to go ahead and do that. All right, so the first thing that I want to do is go ahead and pop this off. It just pulls off. These are all kind of together right here. Take this out. All you have to do is squeeze right here. You squeeze this down. It pushes the piece out so you can actually do it. You just squeeze the bottom side right here. And if I can turn this a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead, you squeeze this portion here, push down just a little, get it unseated, and then wiggle it out. And then the one next to it is actually on the back side right here. There's actually a piece for you to squeeze. So I'm gonna squeeze it, pull it out, and get this kind of out of my way here. All right, so I've got these swung up out of the way here. It's not very difficult to do. Swing it up at the top. Gives you full access. Let me reposition. So what we're doing here is I have this Allen wrench, and I looked everywhere on this thing for a size and couldn't find a size. It's not very big, but you want to fit it inside this little screw right here. Get it in there, and basically you're just turning it counterclockwise, so you can be rotating the Allen back towards you, and it looks like I'm getting quite a bit out of this thing because it's still moving. All right, it looks like it stopped moving halfway through that turn. All right. Just so you can see what I'm seeing. You see there's a gap. There's a gap here now. So you can see a little gap between it. So I'm gonna turn until it touches. Just a little bit more. All right, it's touching right there. So what everyone is saying is that, yeah, it's definitely touching. What everyone is saying is that you want a little bit of preload on this because you don't want the valve to be stuck closed. It'll cause all kind of issues. So people say 1/8 of a turn to 1/4 of a turn. So I'm just gonna do 1/8 of a turn. Looks good to me. Okay, so I know that straight up there with the wrench facing straight up is where I need it. So I'm gonna take some of this blue Loctite. I'm just gonna dab just a little bit on there. I'm gonna back it down and then go back. That way, hopefully it eased a little bit of that stuff into my threads there. Got way too much on there. and that'll keep it where I want it. So there again, with this, I guess you could call this a mod. It's not really a mod, it's an adjustment. But you adjusting this bypass valve, you see mine, I got, I think, a half to a full turn almost out of this thing before it stopped pushing, because it had it pushed about right there. Now it's almost straight up and down. So I put about an eighth of a turn of preload onto it, because you don't want it all the way shut, because it could get stuck in the fully seated position, and you don't want it stuck closed, but you also don't want it partially open. So you want just a hair of preload on that screw right there, that set screw, to keep it from closing all the way and getting stuck. But it's a pretty simple adjustment. It's easy to do. Anybody can do this. And I may see some results, because I did have to turn it a little bit. Now, you're not going to gain, a dog ton of horsepower out of this. It's just something that could help it run a little bit more efficiently, and maybe give you a PSI or two a boost, especially make the low to mid-range a little bit better on the car, because you'll be building boost a little bit faster, because it's not slipping through that bypass valve. And the higher RPM, it's making plenty enough pressure that valve's probably open partially anyway to, regulate the boost pressure down to around the 10 PSI range that it wants to see from the factory. So that's something easy that everybody can do. It was a short video. So all we have to do now is put this stuff back together. Simple task. This. I'll get you up off of here. All right, so this right here, I'm just gonna pop it back on, right there. Back down to these two. Get my small one. Get that one's on, the large one. Line it up. Sure that one's on. All right, pop this back in. Yeah. Slip that back down over that. Check it, and everything looks good. So there you have it. Easy to do, and it may help some of you guys out. Most of them are right from the factory, but people have been saying that, just like me, you could get a half to a whole turn out of this thing, that it's actually pushed the valve open. It stays open partially. So I'm gonna let this Loctite here set up before I drive it, for a few hours. I wanna make sure that screw doesn't turn. The screw is fairly tight turning. It's not like it's a very loose set screw. So it's tight in its threads. So I don't believe I have any issues there, but I did get a little bit of a turn out of it. So, hey, I may or may not feel a difference. I probably won't, but I'll know that it's adjusted properly. Thanks you guys for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, stay tuned for more. Appreciate you guys.